Hey everybody, this is Workforce Gaming. I'm Brad along with Doug.
Hi.
So, Doug played one of the more interesting looking games this year, which is Little Nightmares. So, I
Yes.
don't really know a whole lot about this other than just seeing a kind of cool looking trailer. So, talk to me a little bit about what this is.
Yeah, I think this is like weird because I think we start a lot of videos like, what is this game? But I think a lot of people just didn't know what this game is. Like when I play this game, I didn't know. What I did know a lot about this game was the developer. Tarsier Studios. It's like not a game. It's not one that people would know regularly. But they came out in 2005 with this awesome trailer called The City of Metronome, which was maybe you can find footage of that. Like I'd be surprised if you could. It was this really crazy, creepy trailer of like this sort of platforming adventure game where this kid was running around the city that was like run by music. And it had this really creepy accordion music playing, and like these platforms were moving the music. And that game got canceled, but Tarsier was weirdly known for that game. Uh, they eventually end up working. I think the ones that people might know them most for is actually the Little Big Planet games. They did a lot of costumes for Little Big Planet, but they made Little Big Planet Vita. Little Big Planet Vita, real quick, is the best Little Big Planet game, and it has this really weird, dark aspect that is not in the other Little Big Planet games. Like some really shadowy levels, some weirdly dark stuff for like a game about little sack boys and sack girls. Which is one of the reasons I really love that game is because it has such an odd setting and an odd tone. So basically, what Little Nightmares is, it's this mix of what the studio started with, like that City of Metronome with like these really weird shaped characters and music, then that like those darker aspects of Little Big Planet Vita, and basically they then created their own IP in which to take those ideas and just do whatever the hell they wanted. Basically, it was basically like those dark ideas they had in Little Big Planet they could completely unleash in this game called Little Nightmares that originally was called Hunger, and probably should.
Oh, I remember this. That was a
Yeah.
cool trailer like 2 years ago,
It,
right?
yeah, it was. It
I did
was.
not
Oh, you
know
didn't realize it?
I did not know this was the same game.
Oh yeah, dude. Oh man, you need to get this game like ASAP.
Oh damn. Okay. I see because I never heard of this game before. It, like came out and everybody's talking about it. But yeah, Hunger looks like okay.
I will say Hunger was a much more appropriate name for this game, and I think Light Nightmares might have been more marketable. Uh,
Yeah, that makes sense.
yeah, so I guess kind of like the images, like if you just like looked up any trailer of this, you're gonna see like a little girl running around a raincoat. That's basically the premise. You're this little girl in a rain or a little boy. They definitely don't make the gender um clear in the game because your character never speaks. And basically like what you are, you wake up in like basically an air duct.
Okay.
And what it is, you're in this like really weird environment where there's these giant creatures that kind of look like people, these like really weirdly deformed characters. Like basically if you made a person out of silly putty, then like smash that silly putty and like kind of tore it to pieces and stuff, and like that's what the characters look like. They're these really grotesque characters. um and I'd say this is not like a spoiler. It's pretty clear that they want to eat you pretty early on. Like that's not a spoiler. And basically the whole thing is like you're basically running around these kitchen settings, you're running around these living rooms, you're running around like these like living quarters and bathrooms and stuff. But they're much bigger than you. It has like this weird sense of scale. Um, and the camera, I think the camera is actually kind of important, like kind of like showing you the scale because the camera's pulled back pretty far, and like you're just like this really tiny character, and it plays really well. The camera zooming in and out. Like if it shows you like a really big area, it's gonna pull you out. So like your character's like this little dot, so you're gonna see like how ungodly huge this environment is compared to you. And it's really weird. Like the colors and the atmosphere is like really dark, really gritty, and it makes you feel like I don't know how they do this, but the way you dart around, it makes you feel like you're a rat. Like you're a
That's
rat
kind
in
of
this
cool.
place. Yeah, you're this insignificant rat that people want to kill, and it's like it's just this really dark tone. And because you go through all these dirty places, you have like these little feet, like your little feet like pitter patter, like a mouse or a rat. So it kind of feels like you're not that you're necessarily invading this place, but you clearly don't belong. Even in the context of like they eat little people like you there is something weird about your character specifically that feels like otherworldly, that doesn't feel like a part of this environment. So as you're going through these environments, these grotesque people are trying to eat you. It does have that sort of feel of like Inside and Limbo. I think Inside, especially looking at Inside, I think when you play Inside, you realize that like what you're looking at, like this is not really what this is. There's some like meaning entire behind this entire, like every single scene of Inside. It's like this isn't really about people being zombified. Like there's some sort of like I don't know philosophical discussion
They're
going
trying to
on when you're
teach you
playing that game.
something.
Yeah, and I felt like Inside, like I not that I felt too dumb for Inside, but I just like I felt like I didn't get certain
I
scenes.
felt
Like I
too dumb
didn't.
for Inside. I will own up to that.
And I feel like Inside, like there's clearly some sort of messaging they're trying to show for each scene. And I think Little Nightmares is a little bit more explicit, like for sure. Like definitely like the story is very clear what happens to the story. What happens to your character. I would say your character is kind of left generally mysterious, but like what how your character is progressing in this world is like very clear cut, like what you do to these people, what happens in this, um why you start in this sort of dark environment. You go to these sort of more interesting later levels. Like there's definitely a clear through line. So I enjoyed it more, I think, in the end than Inside because it showed you these weird, grotesque environments, these weird, horrible, grotesque things happen to you, but they did make sense in the context of that world and story. It didn't just feel like Inside, like you're saying, or like I was saying, you were saying, it's like there's just you feel like lost, like you feel like there's something I'm missing here. While like it definitely feels like there is that sort of hidden meaning behind it, but you couldn't just enjoy the game at face value.
Yeah.
Now, I feel like I'm being really vague about this game because you have to be vague about this game because the coolest sequences are the ones you can't talk about. The horrifying sequences you can't talk about. Some of the more interesting, surprising things are interesting and surprising. So, like, I don't know why I talk about them. I think that if you enjoy games like Limbo, you enjoy games like Inside, you're really going to enjoy this game. I think from that perspective, the only thing I found disappointing is I found them a little too similar to those games. Um, I think if Inside actually had not come out and this was just kind of made in a vacuum, then this game would have like a huge amounts of praise lumped on top of it. But because it came so close to Inside, it has that general feeling. It has it that sort of simple puzzles. Like you know how to get to the area. Like I don't think I think I blew through this game really quick because I never got stuck on any puzzles because like they're very simple.
Hmm.
Push the block. But in this case, it might be like push the block out from under the guy who's about to hang himself, sort of thing,
Oh.
or yeah, there's a lot. There's a heavy amount of suicide in this game. I guess that's kind of like a warning for this sort of game. Like I would say you never see somebody do it, but there are definitely lots of hints. Like the whole first section is just filled with nooses and stuff. It's a really really dark game. So
Wow.
it's like I guess it's a dark fantasy if you want to put it in that way, but it feels more like kind of like a really dark fable.
So if you were to, so you kind of made this comparison a second ago. If this game came out prior to Inside, would this be that game everybody's talking about? Like this is the indie game that's going to possibly win Game of the Year. If you remove
Yeah.
Inside and like what that game did, and you just release Little Nightmares, you say, okay, this takes the place of Inside. Is it that critical acclaim? Is it that Game of the Year that everybody talked about, like Inside was?
I think it is, but I think Inside at the end of the day does things that are more interesting than this one because because I think Inside's world is not as well defined as this one that it can sort of play around with like weird things and just kind of like let them be weird
Yeah.
things. While this game like a lot of things have to happen in the context of this world. So I think that yeah, I think a lot of people more people would be talking about this, but it is a bit strange it being like right after Inside, which is easier to make direct comparisons to. But like on its own, it's incredible. It's such a cool game, and there are sequences in that game you have not seen in other games. And I really like, and I guess just real quick about the aesthetics, like they're actually making a stop motion movie based on this game,
That's cool.
because it has such a strong art style and it's such a strong it plays it does a lot. And if you've seen Coraline or you've seen Kubo, it very much took inspiration from those in its art style. So I don't know, I think it's a really 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 cool game. It doesn't feel as refined as Inside, but if you are into that sort of genre, then you're gonna really really enjoy your time with it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, that'll do it for this episode. This is Workforce Gaming. You can follow us on Twitter at Workforce Gaming. Subscribe to us on YouTube, iTunes, wherever else you happen to find this randomly at. And we